A few years ago, it was very common to hear about communist defectors, even former members of the diplomatic corps or the military or the KGB, defecting and coming to the United States where they were debriefed and given new identities to prevent them from being killed. One of those KGB defectors, in my opinion, Yuri Bezmenov, is legit, and he has some interesting things to say that provide a glimpse into the mindset of communists. Now, I'm not asking you to believe this. I'm asking you to consider the possibility that this is true or mainly true. He said most of the activity of the department was to compile huge amounts of information on individuals who were then instrumentalized to influence public opinion. Publishers, writers, journalists, actors, educators, professors of political science, members of parliament, businessmen. Most of these people were divided into two groups. Those who supported the policy of the Soviet regime were promoted to positions of power through the manipulation of public opinion and media. Those who refused the influence of communism in their country, their reputation was ruined, or they were executed physically. Thus, in a small town in South Vietnam, thousands of Vietnamese were executed in a single night after the city was taken by the Viet Cong. And the CIA never understood how the communists were able to go so fast to identify each of them, to identify their homes, where to find them, arrest them, all in one night, in just a few hours before dawn, and to board trucks being driven out of town and executed. The answer is very simple. I'm just consider this as possible. I'm not asking you to believe this, but consider if this is the way communists operate. Yuri Bezmenov says the answer is very simple. Long before the communists took the city, there was a comprehensive network of informers of Vietnamese living in the region who knew absolutely everything of people able to influence public opinion, while those who favored the United States were executed. Same thing in Hanoi, led by the Soviet embassy. And I was doing the same thing in New Delhi. To my horror, Yuri Bezmenov says, I discovered in the files people who would be executed, including the names of pro-Soviet journalists who were my personal friends. The interviewer, G. Edward Griffin, says, pro-Soviet? And Yuri says, yes, absolutely. They were defending an ideal communism. They had made several trips to the USSR, yet the KGB had decided that revolution requires to carry out drastic political changes in India. When revolution occurs in a country like India, these people who know too much, who have expectations, when they see their expectations not fulfilled, when they see that the revolution produces a brutal police state, they will be disillusioned and become the enemies. So they are marked for execution, even though they profess total loyalty to the Soviet Union, to the KGB, and they've never done anything to thwart the efforts of the communist movement. They are marked for execution because of the high probability that these people will become resistance fighters after the revolution.